Hello there, Zelx here. And as you guys know, Celestial Dragonblade is rotating out soon. And man, I'm telling you, I'm so happy. This is probably my next hated expansion next to Godworm, and Godworm was gone. So this one immediately went to the top. Not really because of what the deck is, but actually of how overpowered some of the cards in Celestial Dragonblade actually is. Like, what do I mean? Well, we'll get to that when we get to that. But we'll go through it in order. And so, we'll take a look at what each class loses. Let's start off with Forestcraft. So, Forestcraft, at first glance, not too many. You know, I had to hit create card as well. And guess what? I crafted Cosmos Fangs because reasons. But anyways, overall, not a lot of things is going missing from. You're gonna lose from Forestcraft, of course. Gerbera Bear and Floral Breeze is probably the biggest hit. You'll see this being played in a lot of Magachio decks and even the Castel Forest decks. Why? Gerbera Bear giving you Floral Breeze is a follower that will leave play, and Floral Breeze will give you a card that returns a follower to hand. Really strong for most Forestcraft decks, very cheap. It's a source of restore, it's another way to abuse your fanfares. Definitely a huge hit, but I would expect that Forestcraft will get more other cards. A lot of good cards are rotating, but the new set will make Shadowcraft tier 1. I haven't seen Shadowcraft. And then there's Nobilis. Yeah, Nobilis used to be really good in Fairy. It was so good in Fairy. It was what made Fairy decks. But then, I don't know what changed, but at a certain point, I think it was when Shining Vault rotated. And then Nobilis fell off because you just don't get that enough burn anymore. Yeah, Fairy Forest was very aggressive. In fact, I feel like it was the definition of what a good aggro deck should be like. As if you cut away some of the storm damage. But other than that, it was perfectly fine. I think it was probably the best aggro deck we had in a while. It was a shame to see it die off. But you know, it will happen. Then we have Cosmofans and Benevolent Elf. If you never seen this card around, but if you're older, I believe this was played in Control Forestcraft, which never saw play ever again. I'm not sure why, probably because Bahamut rotated or some other thing happened. Benevolent Elf was the bane of my existence back in the day because I'm a Shadow main. It banished all of my followers. I hated it, but it was a pretty balanced card overall. And then there was Cosmos Fangs. Back during Asphalt, when Hozumi was still a thing. This card made... Who was that? There was like one legendary form. You know what, myself? Wimael. Okay, never mind. I remember the name, so I don't have to go look it up. Wimael, so bastard. This card made Wimael so disgusting, and I hated it when it happened. But overall, it was a pretty decent card. It was okay. It was balanced. Overall, you think that Forestcraft is actually really mid. It was a mid expansion, but it was mid because it was balanced. None of the cards are overly busted. And I'm actually honestly kind of sad to see them go. These are all very useful cards and very nice cards for Forestcraft. So although balanced, I feel like this was one of the more balanced cards. Kazegaru. Ah yes, Wimael. Overall, the rest of the cards not so important. So, although middle of the pack, I'll say this is probably just a... Yeah, the Forest isn't hit that hard. Forest will get new decks. Next, we'll move on to Sword. Sword. The entire hero package is gone. Entire hero package. Actually, not entire hero package. We still have 2 heroes card left in rotation, but I doubt they'll see play after William Fencer is gone. Hero was fun, it was balanced, it was a good mid-range deck. Although it never saw play just because I believe the problem was that most of the cards are too expensive and that you really had to rely on having a damage follower left in play. No one will miss it though except when Mars was in rotation. Yeah, Mars made heroes overly strong. With the additional stat lines that turn all the storm followers into dangerous followers and then the clash effect that made trading into these followers very, very dangerous. And also just like giving them rush makes it so much easier to have a damaged followers left on field. Then we have Morgenstern Maid, which enables heroes. She's gone. But other than outside of heroes, never saw play. Stray Bandit, I don't remember seeing him being played outside of any. Actually, I don't remember where he is played in. Resplendent Knight used to be part of toilet decks, but then it's gone. Spell Scourger, rarely, not important. Opulent is a big kit, yes. Honestly, best card Sword, one of the best cards that Sword ever received. Also really balanced, one of my personal favorites from this expansion. Is a very balanced card, it's not overly tuned, it's a good, and it's only busted if you can activate this on turn 3. And get the evolve effect on turn 3, then it's busted. But if you don't activate this on turn 3, right, it's actually a really balanced card. You can play this on 3, it's a 3/3. The opponent deals with it, and you can choose to. It's really bad. You can choose between a resource. You can choose with immediate board control with Graceful Maneuver, or you can finish the game with Dual Blade Fury. It's a very good card. In fact, it's probably now that opponent strategy is gone, right? Sword will need to find another way to deal with big boards again. I feel like this was one of the go-to strategies for Sword to heal, to deal with big boards, and to find a not maybe for the Dual Blade Flurry, but it was nice to have with Dual Blade Flurry when you need it. Coin is a deck. Alright, Glittering Gold was an archetype. I didn't remember that because they never saw play. Then yeah, we have the hero package. A shame to see it go, but it is what it is. Then General Maximus is just another ready sword card. It really fell off in the recent expansions because like there are just better ways to rally. You don't want to spend 5 mana to ready 4 anymore. It's like there's just better things you can do. And pulling a 3 play point has a chance of pulling opulent strategies, which is kind of is a bit of anti-synergy when you really want to get opulent special spells. But other than that, not horrible hits. Sword will definitely change, will definitely adapt to the changes. But I'll say opulent is actually a really big hit. So overall, I'll say how hard this is probably within the top 3 losers, just because of opulent strategies alone. But we may see. Forest doesn't lose much, so it was probably in the bottom 4 right now. Sword will be within the top 4 just because of opulent alone. Next up, Rune. Meltina. Oh, the entire chess set is gone. That's it. Well, Rune is number 1 then. This chess was incredibly strong for Rune. Not only is it early game board control. Not early game board. It puts constant pressure on the board in the form of pawns. And then you also have a very strong finisher on turn 6 with Mystic King. It's basic. It discounts himself into 6 mana. Wait, is it? Wait, yeah, subtract 8. Oh no, 5 mana. It becomes a 5 mana card that summons about 12 damage in Storm. Dirt as well. Which dirt card got lost? Well, there's no dirt card here. Spell boost, yeah, there's spell boost as well. Meltina. Honestly, I'm not sure if Meltina is a big hit because I did play spell boost during this expansion, and I didn't have Meltina. It still performed relatively well. But Murray was the big hit, definitely a bigger hit. But I feel like if you can get another consistent draw spell, you won't suffer too much. Astrologicals, alright. I forgot. But honestly, even though Dirt loses Astrological Sorcerer, right, I would like to say that it's probably not as big of a deal as compared to Chess or Spell Boost. Actually, Spell Boost doesn't lose much either. Because you see, I don't have either of these cards. But I still managed fine with Spell Boost and Dirt. Oh wait! Magical Strategies. I run this in a lot of Spell Boost decks. So the fact that we are losing this as well is a triple hit to Spell Boost. That's control though. Yeah, it is control, but honestly, it's not as big of a hit as it's not that important as I think. Sure, you have this control is pretty good actually if you can get it active, but I feel like you can that just doesn't probably won't miss this at all. They can manage without astrological sorcerer. It is good, don't get me wrong, but you can manage without it. Spell boost will have a bit of more difficulty, losing Meltina, Marie, and magical strategies. But honestly, you can manage without Meltina. Magical strategies and Marie can probably get replaced. The key cards from spell boost are not missing. So yeah, overall, still okay. And then chess is gone, which biggest hit is probably the easiest deck to play for Rune. Just get chess pawns out on the field with card seer, magical strategy, whatever, and then you'll just win the game with Mystic. You don't think you will have replacement for this card since they are pushing neutral craft and expansion? I'm not sure. I feel like we would have. Like magical strategies, you can just replace with what is it? Provisions. That's a replacement already. I don't used to run provisions in spell boost, but with magical strategies out, I'll run it in. I'll throw it in probably. Marie, I'm not sure, but I think we'll find a way. I haven't looked at the new expansions yet, so I'm not quite sure what they're pushing. I did look at some of it, but I didn't look at it too deeply. But I'll make a separate video on that later. So chess, definitely very strong archetype. Sad to see it go. Checkmate and the bishop that are left in rotation alongside with check will be so sad. I'll think about what to do with them, but this is definitely upon the top two losses for this expansion. Next up, Dragon. The entire arm archetype is gone. And this card as well. Holy hell. You know what? I'm actually kind of happy to see arm go. I feel like arm was a little bit unhealthy for the game. Especially Blast Form. Blast Form was really bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. I don't like it at all. It's so much damage. It felt defense form was still okay, but when Blast Form came out, Arm just went to another level of oppressive, I feel. Then there's this card as well, which is also great that is going. They're just burn. They're just burn with no counters, unless you counter Fanfare. It's really strong. If they were to make the Blast Form a little bit more balanced, I think I will like remove this stay point recover. There's no point in that, honestly. It's just like this effect alone was already so strong for Blast. It's so broken. It literally made attack form useless. Attack form was a little bit weak, but it's probably the more balanced of the three. Leviting was going to be stronger. And it's stronger, but it's still balanced. And Blast Form just took it out of the wood. Took it out. This just push Arm Dragon to broken. You miss Rage Wood. Very check card. Yeah, I mean he's fun, but honestly, when I play with him, I brick with him more often than not. He's good. Don't get me wrong. Empty play point, summon storms. He's fun. He's a ram card, but he feels like a brick. He's very cool design. But that's it. That's the base. Oh my god. But Arm definitely loses a lot. This is a very cracked expansion for Dragon. This card was strong. Arm was strong. You know what? This will take temporary number 1 with Rune at number 2 or number 3. Let's see if Dragon will get dethroned. But I'm just happy to see Lumor gone. Lumor and Liberty. Now I don't have to worry about this burn damage that's so counterintuitive. Can I just, let's take a second to complain about the entire Arm archetype as a whole. Why am I punished for removing cards? They have such overstated minions that are so strong with burn damage, and then when I remove them, they get even stronger. That is so bastard. Like, then they get even more burn from Leviathan Dragon Blast Form. It just makes it makes no sense. It makes removing them a problem, and then if you don't remove them, you take too much damage, and that's a problem as well. It's so dumb. The entire Arm archetype is dumb, especially with Blast Form. If it doesn't have Blast Form, It's fine. It's perfectly fine. It's okay. It's a good deck. It's a good archetype that I will perfectly enjoy having in the meta. But with Blast Form introduced, nah, it just became unhealthy. It's too easy to accomplish, and then you just steamroll the opponent if they can't heal or can kill you. It's just not healthy. And then Lumor, on the other hand, you reach turn 10, you win the game. It used to be so oppressive, but then they managed to tune it back in the recent patches. So you know what? Maybe not as bad, but still horrible. Rant over. Let's move on to the next class. Shadow. Who gets immune? Huge hit. This card never saw play. The Ghost package is gone. Deathside Howl is gone. Hydra of Decay is gone. Hydra of Decay is a hit to our new Transmute Shadow deck. It's really strong inside, but now that this is gone, I guess, but we'll get new cards so that we'll see what happens. And the Ghost package is gone. Masquerade Ghost is gone, and man, I cannot tell you how happy I am to see this card go. I hate this card. I didn't like this design at all. Why? Not only did it rewards aggression, it also gives you, it just gives you Gargantuan Ghosts which are 4/4s. And you make it even more difficult to deal with. And unless you transmute or banish this just comes back. And then you have to deal with another turn of this, and they basically get a 5 mana effect for free on turn 6. It's stupid. It's really dumb. I don't like this design at all. There's no good way of dealing with Basket Ghosts unless you banish it. And if you banish it, they still get a 4/4. Overstated, exactly. It gives you 3 mana. It basically gives you 3 mana cards for free. 4 of them. You cheat 12 mana on turn 4. And you burn face for like 8 damage, 10 damage. Oh sorry, on not turn 4, turn 6. You cheat 12 mana on turn 6 and you get 8 mana in damage, excluding and if you add in an evolve point, it becomes 10 damage on turn 6. And then your opponent has to deal with this, and then once you deal with this, you have to deal with banishment. If it's not for Uranus, this was a menace, and Uranus got nerfed. Masquerade was a bad card. It was unhealthy for the game. I'm happy to see it go. Ghost as an archetype was fine, but Masquerade was the problem card. Yeah, Dragonblade was a 3-play point and he was fine. And then they nerfed it and Masquerade just took over. The other legendaries aren't as noteworthy. Deathside Hound, I tried to make it work. It was okay. Really decent card, really balanced. Torchella, also really balanced. You don't see it as often. But still generally pretty good. Not pretty good, it's just balanced. So it's mid. Hugen and Munin, Stingent Pidgeotto, I run this in my Transmute Shadow. So that now they're gone, I'm going to have to look for another source of healing. And probably more draw. Last one is going to take a hit, but last one doesn't have a win coin anyway. So, Shadow lost Ghost. Lost a couple of key cards for Transmute Shadow. I think this is, although it's not hit, it's lost a lot, it's not hit as hard. I feel like they still have archetypes to play with. So if I want to say, you'll be with Dragon in first, and if Dragon in first, and let's see what have I gone through. Rune in third. I think Shadow will be fourth, and then Sword will probably go down to 5. I'm gonna leave the 2 slot open just to see if there's anything else. If not, then I'll adjust the rankings a bit later. Next up, Bloodcraft. Whoa, it's a really good set. Evolve loses 1 burn damage, but I didn't play her, so I think Evolve can survive. Wrath package is gone. Wrath, Howling Demon was really strong. But Maestro was really strong. Infernal Orchestration, not as strong, but still good. Lunel was a good finisher. But actually, the rest of the cards are really average. It's not as good as I thought it was. Okay, Howling was strong, but it's not essential. 2 play point draw. This was the bigger hit. This was a really strong card for Wrath. But now they're gonna have to rely more on the how to train your bat now. But other than that, big loss for Wrath. I don't think so actually. I think it's just it's a small hit. It doesn't feel big. It feels like Wrath will still be around. It's not a big hit. Evolve will also still be around. Malicious and Tavadi aren't essential to the deck. Tavadi was strong, but it's not essential. And then Pazuzu, no, it's a meme. Fun to play around with. Obnoxious if it's strong. Also lost Howling. Yeah, but like, you can manage without Howling. It's like, he's strong. He's actually really strong. But you can manage without him. Let's see. Wrath has a turn 5 play now. Wrath has turn 5 play in the singers. The silver card. You can play that on turn 5 instead of Howling Demon. But Howling Demon will definitely be stronger, better play. I'm not sure how this will affect it, but I feel like Wrath will definitely still be around. So overall, it's on the latter side. It's not gonna be hit as huge. Veggie Wrath love these two cards, so yeah, that's definitely huge. Well, I think they can manage. They won't lose, they won't die, they'll still be around. Overall, if I were to place this as a ranking, it will be number in about amongst the 8 classes, right? 8 classes, 3, 5, 8 classes. This will be number 6 or so. 6 or so. Yeah, it's a slap on the wrist. It's not that bad. They can survive. Next up, Haven. The entire crystallized package is gone. Oh boy. Okay, where do I start? Wingy was strong. Diamond Master was strong. Freya was very strong in Heal Haven. Holy Lightning Bird was strong in Amulet. Crystallized as a package was strong as well. Wow, this is really it's a really good set. It's a really strong set. But it's the biggest hit. Asolfo is really strong. You say, as you say, is really strong. And then we had Diamond Master and Wingy, which is a very strong combo for Crystallize. Crystallize did used to have a problem with having finishers and having consistency. They used to be stronger with Skullfane, and then once Skullfane rotated out, they need to rely on John. And it was a really strong deck. A little bit obnoxious, but it's strong. The cards themselves are balanced, but I think the problem was Diamond Master giving Storm to any random card. This was the biggest problem. But other than that, the archetype was really solid as well. They also lost Taurus, yeah. This card wasn't as popular now. It used to be. It's pretty good though, with giving a 5/3 Storm in like 3 turns. So on turn 6, in my opinion, it's a pretty good aggressive card. Or it looks sad for Nariel. I think Nariel will survive. Holy Lightning Bird is definitely a very critical hit though. They might have a bit more problems now, but I think they can manage actually. I'm not sure. I haven't played Amulet myself, but I feel like Haven got hit really hard. So if Dragon was first, this will be second. I think Haven will be our number 2 for this expansion. And then we have Portal. Very unimpressed. I'm really unimpressed. They lose consistency. Yeah, Haven will definitely lose consistency, but it's fine. They'll survive. And then we have Portal, which looks really, really sad. I don't know why, but I didn't have any of the legendaries, so I didn't play with any of them. Wow. I think this was like a support expansion for like what was it? Calamity's Genesis. That's why we have so many 5 cards. But I'll talk about the important ones. Sweeper Door, key card in Evolve decks. Now they don't get free evolves on turn 5 with just 1 fusion, like from the Machina guys. Yeah, it's Calamity support. And then Vermidia is artifacts, but I don't actually have her, and I still perform quite well with artifacts. I think they are getting support in the next expansion, so they won't miss losing Vermidia at all. Arc is really strong. Basically, every single portal card deck got hit except for artifacts. Sweeper and Banimator. Banimator actually got... It was less relevant nowadays. So, definitely lower at power now. Oh, Zerg was really good in my artifact deck as well. Healing and drawing a card was really strong for artifacts. So, you'll definitely miss this when artifacts become more relevant. And then these two cards are... I don't see them at all. Like, Absolute Chastity, I actually never played with them, so I cannot tell you how strong they are. But to me, I feel like this expansion was really... For Portal, this expansion was really low power. This one's on the... They won't miss this at all. They'll recover really easily. Although I would say Puppet Assemble was really fun. I like this card. I have a Puppet OTK that rely on this as well. But you know what? Goodbye Portal. You won't miss anything. So if I were to rank this, I'll put this at the bottom. You'll probably be like... You'll be the last actually. None of these cards are important at all. And then lastly, let's talk about the neutrals. Holy... Olivia and Sylvia? Huge. Uranus... Less impactful but still pretty huge. Freya. Really good card. Run in chess. Any deck with an attribute, you'll run Freya. This Freya was really strong. Greater Will used to be even stronger back in the days when you can give the enemy leader the effect. That was the best. That made Greater Will so fun. But the rest of it is less important. But Freya and Olivia, definitely. Very key hits. This one hits consistency for Magachio. Chess is gone already, so whatever. Let's see. Condemned decks, especially. They will love Freya. But now she's gone. And Olivia and Sylvia. Any deck that doesn't have a good way of recovering evolve points usually rely on Olivia and Sylvia. They are really good at controlling the board. They're really good at helping you go further into the late game. Really strong card. The neutrals for this set, average, but the gold and legendary was really, really strong. Whew, this is a really high power expansion. This expansion was really high power. I cannot believe it. I feel like it was a mistake to make it so high power. Like in the like what? Armed Dragons, Ghost Shadow. Crystallized was only a bastard in certain scenarios, but and then Chess was really strong as well. You missed Uranus. I guess he's fine. He's good as a finisher. But overall, let's go over our rankings, guys. So in first place, I'll put the biggest loss as Dragon. Dragon will be our number 1, losing this card as well as Arm. Both are very strong archetypes, even though they'll still have buff left in rotation. Next, my next biggest hit, I believe, is actually Haven. Haven loses Holy Lightning Bird, so Amulet consistency. They lose Crystallize as an entire archetype. They lose Prayer Urn from their heal decks. Prayer Urn being especially strong post Illuvia. Then, I'll say it is Runecraft. Losing Chess, a very strong deck. We don't realize how powerful an expansion is until we lost them. Yeah, actually, I already knew this expansion was very powerful way before we lost them. See how strong Libertine Dragon and Chess are. And it's also crystallized. It's like, you just see this pop up a lot. The anime expansion, man, really brings out the anime protagonist in everyone. So that's why Rune will be third. And fourth, I'll say is Shadow. Shadow losing Ghost. A very obnoxious archetype, but I'm just happy to see it go. It's so obnoxious, and I'm glad to see it go. And then next we'll have, within these 4, I'll say that Opulent is hit the hardest because of Opulent strategies. Sword is hit the hardest because of Opulent strategies. And then we'll follow be Blood with the Rough package as well as the Evolve. You know what, actually we'll swap these rankings for Blood Urban Shadow because of Howling Demon at Tavali. Almost all the cards became relevant at one point. Yeah, right, you're right about that. And then Forest with their Control archetype. And then lastly, we'll have Portal with their irrelevant legendaries, and their strongest goal arc and sweeper doll. And that's basically it. And the neutrals are actually really strong as well. Really high power expansion. Once it goes, I think Shadowverse will definitely have a fresher meta. You will definitely feel I believe you'll feel better if not for the fact that Steve is still in rotation, which still caps everything by turn 8. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess. Goodbye, Dragonblade. Thanks for being a obnoxiously overpowered expansion. But yes, goodbye. And thanks for being part of Shadowverse.